guys, so I'm about to start my Kenafe minis, and this is the things that you will need. I'm going to be using a cupcake tin. I've got 2 of them here. I have a mixing bowl, my shredded phyllo dough, the butter Ghee, whole milk mozzarella, and then shredded mozzarella, Kenafe food coloring, and this Dena cream, which is the same as table cream. The first step is to get the shredded phyllo dough, and I take half of the package, and what I do is I use scissors to cut it down instead of putting it in a food processor. I just feel like it's less dishes that way. I'll show y'all. I just start snipping away like that. No specific size, just, cut it down. And I just use about half of it. Alright, so as you see, I've used half of the phyllo dough, the shredded phyllo dough. This other half I'll be closing tightly and putting in a freezer safe Ziploc bag, and I'll be putting it back in the freezer so I can use it the next time. So here, I'm going to be eyeballing it, but I have the recipe written down and I'll share it with you guys later. I'm going to be putting here some of this butter Ghee. You can use butter, normal butter if you want, but I prefer using this. It gives you more of the original flavor. I'm eyeballing it, but I do have the recipe written down, which I'll be sharing with you guys. And then here, I'm just gonna give a sprinkle. Whoa, that's a big clump. Well, guess what? More red. It's okay. And then I just give it a good mix. Again, I eyeball it because I've made it so many times. Alright, so this is what it looks like. It doesn't look orange only because the color really comes out once it's cooked. I mixed it, did not have to get my hands in there just because I think I mixed it enough to where when it cooks, the color will incorporate more throughout the shredded phyllo dough. And now what I do is I prepare the cheese mix. The cheese mix, I put half of this log, which is about, I want to say it's like 1 cup worth of whole milk mozzarella, and then I put a cup's worth of this shredded mozzarella, and then I put this can of the table cream. And if you're skeptical about this, try it and then judge it. It's so good. Alright, and now with the scissors, I just cut the cheese. This comes already sliced because it's really for caprese salad. That's the tomato and basil salad with the balsamic drizzle. But I love this for sweets, for Arabic sweets. I like it more than sweet cheese actually. And this is also the cheese I use for halawat al-jibn. My friend, Catastrophic Chef, gave me a really good technique. So she uses sweet cheese with some mozzarella. I like using this only, but I'm going to be using her technique on making it this week actually. I'm super excited to try because hers looked amazing. So yeah, I just cut the cheese like this, and then I put a cup of the shredded mozzarella and the table cream, and I'll mix it. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's it. Okay, so now I'm gonna be putting the table cream. Somebody today asked me what the difference between media cream is and table cream, the regular one. Table cream is just thicker. If you put this in the fridge, it comes out like a custard, but look, this is really good for asafir. I have actually a recipe, I'll be making that soon this week. But as you can see here, I've got the cup of the mozzarella, the fresh one, cut into bite-sized pieces, actually smaller. And then I have the cup of the shredded mozzarella, and I'll be adding to it the table cream, and I'll just give it a good mix. This also goes really good for qataif, guys. This is so easy. You just need pistachios for garnish and the simple syrup. This actually also works for a full-size Kenafe, not just for these mini. Okay, so now that I've got the shredded phyllo dough mix and the cheese mix ready, now I prepare the cupcake tin. And what I'm gonna do is just give each one a little brush of the Ghee. If you're using butter, just make sure it's like melted, or you take the stick and you rub it around each one. This is a recipe for the 12 cupcakes. And I'll just be doing this to each one. This helps it not stick, even though I know there's already a lot of semne. And if you look at the original way of making Kenafe, it's filled with butter and semne. So if you're trying to make this healthy, just don't eat Kenafe, period. Go have a bowl of fruits. Okay, so now what we do is I distribute evenly into the cupcake tin the dough, but I leave a little bit on the side because I do top the cheese so it doesn't burn in the oven. I'm a minimalist when it comes to making a mess. I hate using too much dishes for each meal. I just won't cook if that's the case every time I want to go in the kitchen. And if you notice, I'm not pressing it down because I will show you what I do. I'm just trying to evenly dispense or disperse the phyllo dough. Okay, so now what I did is I moved all the excess shredded phyllo dough to where it's all pretty much in each cupcake tin. I'm going to show you two different ways of how you can press it down. You can use the bottom of a cup to do each one individually and push it down, or you can take another cupcake tin and simply just press down, just like this. You want a lot of pressure because you want it to make like a crust. Like grabbing on, like pushing it down on the edges, and voila, you've got your pressed Kenafe, and now it's ready to be topped with the cheese. Okay, so now I'll be using this cookie scoop to distribute the cheese in each one, the cheese mixture. It makes it easier. It's kind of like, you see that? I got this off Amazon. It's just, if you look up cookie scoop, it was a 3-pack. It's just enough for all 12. Alright, so now I took the back of the spoon that I was using for the cheese and I just flattened it a little bit, and now I'll be putting a little sprinkle of this on each one just so that it doesn't burn on the top. Notice my hands did not get dirty throughout this whole process. There's no specific amount. You can also make this recipe with it makes 6 big sized muffins. You know, like the muffin tin, you can do that too. I'm just gonna sprinkle a bit and mix this a little so it looks like there's a lot of coloring here. You want to get your hands in there and make sure it's all distributed evenly. Go ahead, I'll show you guys what this looks like at the end. Alright, so these are ready to be baked, but I won't be baking them until after dinner. They're ready to go though. I'll be preheating the oven and then popping them in for 12 to 15 minutes. And in the meanwhile, I'll be making the simple syrup, so that's also ready to go. So because there is the table cream in here and the whole milk mozzarella, I won't leave it outside. I'm gonna cover this all with foil and put it in the refrigerator, and I'll just take it out right before. By the way, this is a really nice idea to take to somebody's house. Just make sure they're okay with you baking before you go there. Like, you could totally take this already made, ready to be popped in the oven, and just cover it with foil and bake it there, because it's just like a 15-minute thing. So your guests will enjoy this. And just bring like a jar of simple syrup with you and those pistachios for the topping. But yeah, that's just a good idea.